What's up, chat? I'm not screaming today. I probably won't be screaming much in the future because I'm moving to Japan and I'll be living in a apartment complex for the short term at least. So I definitely won't be screaming then. So you guys gotta get used to comfy, quiet streams. Instead of screaming, we'll just have a lot of comfy ASMR content as I whisper into the mic. You know, just incredibly chill, sexy ASMR content. I'm really glad you're moving to Japan to fulfill the promise you made to your childhood friend. Unfortunately, my childhood friend said that she was hanging out with Delante Kun, the American-Kenyan basketball team exchange student, and they're off at the basketball camp practicing sports. So I can't meet her for now, but I'm sure she's doing fine, and she'll be very much interested in restarting our relationship when I get back. Does she have an Ace of Spades tattoo? I always wonder if you're like these giant, faceless, muscular black guys in your Korean hentai. What if you don't want women with an Ace of Spades tattoo? You have to just like go through a really long talk with them to convince them not to be covered in Ace of Spades and like barcode tattoos and having like 13,000 nipple piercings and stuff. Is that just how it works? To be fair, it's kind of nice to know that at least all these childhood friends get paid attention to by the NTR faceless black men in the Korean hentai, because if that guy isn't picking them up and they're stuck in a normal non-18 plus anime, you know what's gonna happen, right? They're just gonna be confessing their love during the summer fireworks festival, and MC Kun is gonna be like, huh, what did you say? Did you say something, Kanako? I couldn't hear you. How do I want to draw a car? Is the question. I think I can draw a car. The question is, how do I draw a car that maximizes the beauty of the lines and the form? I wonder what order Toriyama drew his vehicles in. This music sucks. God damn. You know what job that nobody is really mourning? The job of people that were producing like easy listening background music that you don't actually listen to, but you just have playing in the background. I mean, that shit must have been entirely replaced by AI at this point. Like, you know, shit they would play in cafes and stuff. In the past, you definitely had to have like low quality musicians just sort of like shit 100,000 hours of it out, and they wouldn't get any credit. But yeah, that stuff has definitely been replaced by AI, and I don't think anyone gives a fuck about that. No one was like, no, you have to compensate the artists that were making incredibly shitty slop. I've heard AI music in 1 or 2 shopping chains. The thing is, we basically had AI music before AI music, right? That's why we called it shit like elevator music and stuff. And it was way worse than AI music that we have right now. I immediately saw the outline of a muscle car. I knew you were drawing Gunsmith cats. The front of this car is too short now that I've drawn it. The Mustang has a really long front of the car. I need to drag this forward a bit. I think I'm going to start by drawing the windshield. And then I'm going to go from there. I don't mind using generative AI for poses. Ultimately, I feel like it's just better to have a bunch of pose books that you have legally downloaded from the internet, because piracy is illegal, guys. Have you made any drafts for the next chapter of Medicinal BB? No. I'm not going immediately into drafts. I have to move to Japan, so that involves doing a lot of shit. It might be a permanent move, honestly, because based on the amount of information my mother is giving me, she doesn't seem to be particularly interested in maintaining my room for me, so I don't think there's going to be a place for me to come back to. I'm basically burning the ship behind me, so I have to do a bunch of shit in the next month or so. I also want to take a bunch of time to actually get better at drawing a little bit. Part of what I'm doing right now is getting used to drawing shit in perspective, thinking about perspective, I guess. Please, bro, get the hell out of America. Save yourself. I'm getting out of America. I'm transferring about half of all of my savings to yen, so I'm not directly attached to the American dollar. I have already sold like 90% of my index fund stocks that I had that had, you know, absolutely shot up in value because I bought them during the peak of the pandemic, and I'm selling them while we're obviously in some kind of AI bubble, so I'm going to be transferring that into yen. Stonks, line go up. That's right, guys. Don't worry. The line will go up forever. Nothing to worry about. The line will never, ever go down. The American stock market is invincible. There's nothing to worry about. You kind of scare me with how smart you are sometimes. This AI bubble will pop soon, by the way. I've played with enough AI to know that it's not actually generating any money, so... Also, my mother has a subscription to the New York Times. In the past, like, week and a half, there's been about 5 or 6 articles that have been doubting the fuck out of whether AI is actually viable in one way or the other. They're not actually like posting an article that's just like straight up saying this is a fucking bubble, but they're just like hinting at this might possibly not really be what the Silicon Valley wants you to think it is. And because New York Times is old as fuck media, so when you start getting the fucking New York Times talking about, you know, throwing cold water on the situation, that means it's definitely time to get out. It's usually too late, but luckily the rest of the tech companies are like way more optimistic about this shit than I am, so I still have some time to get out, you know. Hopefully I can get out of America and set up a Japanese bank account and then transfer my dollar to yen while there's still like it's still like 150 yen to the dollar, because if the American stock market crashes and we go into like a massive recession, that's gonna affect the exchange rate as well, so. Crazy didn't see that years ago. You know, there's so much optimism about it though. I think it could go for another like year and a half, honestly. Remember, the stock market is just like the level of enthusiasm rich people have in a technology that it's gonna make them money in the future. and there's like no amount of denial that you can actually put yourself into until like one person jumps out and then everyone's like, oh, maybe I should jump out too, you know? Like, it's very difficult to predict how people feel about something, right? So who the fuck knows when it's gonna crash? They aren't spreading FUD, but they aren't afraid to criticize the AI bubble. Well, there's a shit of ton of stuff you can criticize about AI before FUD or, you know, various stuff. Like, I mean, it's one of the worst shit you can do for the environment as well, so... Like, if you're even slightly environmentally conscious, you're probably gonna be shitting on AI, so... Tech bros will ride this wave to the end. They're gonna ride it until, like, they all start to try and get out at the same time, and then they're gonna be like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, right? That's just how this shit works, and then it's just gonna crash at once. Most AI features are more disruptive than helpful, like those AI YouTube voiceovers. Here's the thing, even if the features were, whether they're disruptive or helpful, the only thing that Silicon Valley cares about is making a shit ton of money. The problem is that AI isn't capable of doing that extremely basic thing of making money, which is what capitalism was theoretically supposed to be about. I often feel that playing the environment serves mostly as a virtue signal and actually worry about how this will affect the trout population. I mean, if anything, it probably gets the AI bros even hotter. Like, it probably makes their dick harder when all the environmentalists are like, no, you have to start. They're like, it'll probably just make the AI bros just be like, no, we have to do this. What we're doing will save the planet. I have been baptized and reborn in the piss-filled subway tunnels of Berlin. Good to see you again, bald friend. Feels good, man. Clap. Please go to the local newsstand and buy a readily available SM bondage porn magazine for me, my Berliner friend. Wait, I can't remember. What country were you in before? Were you one of the Spain bros? Or... I know you weren't in Germany, right? This is another EU Exodus thing. It seems like we're all moving countries now. I am in fact German. I went on a trip. Auf in Schreiben, Gruber, Kreiber, auch in Kirchen, Lieber, Klungen. Ich neine Schlichach auf den Hof. Ja. Ja, das ist Main. Piss in Berlin subway tunnels. Can't you just find that in the streets? The Berlin piss is more concentrated and powerful. You're gonna get canceled, but that was pretty good? No, racism against white people is okay. Especially against Euros. I think we've established that already. If I'm going to Japan, I should start streaming on Nico Nico Doga. So you guys can all post your comments and it will go across the screen in an incredibly annoying fashion. Nico Nico Doga. The difficult part about drawing characters with cars is trying to make sure that you don't fuck up the proportions. So I don't know how tall Rally is. But there's not a lot of good reference images for her standing next to the car. There's a lot of her inside the car. Also, I'd just like to point out that I know you guys love guns and cars and American violence drawn by Japanese people, but Gunsmith Cats fucking sucks. I used to own like all the volumes of Gunsmith Cats back in high school because for some reason the first manga that I tried to draw was like gun action assassin shit. So I was like, I need references, and this was before having a million images generated by AI and the internet always available, so I was like, where am I going to get references? Well, I'll just go to a different manga. So I bought all the volumes of Gunsmith Cats just so I could use it for references. And it has like basically no fucking plot other than this Japanese Westabu author coming buckets over the concept of, you know, open carry weapons and driving your muscle car through the streets of Chicago and shit like that. Sorry, bro, that's a massive L take. Might need to stamp it on stream. The only thing that fucking happens in Gunsmith Cats is just gun action and driving action, and that's it. You're letting the extremely high quality of the OVAs fuck with your brain, guys. Especially the manga. The OVA is probably some of the better animated shit done ever, especially considering how hard it is to animate stuff like cars and gun action and stuff like that, but it has no fucking plot, bros. Perspective fucks with proportions because of distortion of the view vanishing points. Yes, well, which is why I'm just looking at the car and assuming that my car's height is correct. So I'm like, okay, if she's tall enough, if the bottom of the car is this height, then at this point in the car, her feet should be this height, that type of stuff. Considering it's this far off the ground and so on. I have to get better at fish point perspective though, because you kind of have to draw shit in fish eye perspective if you want to do like action scenes and like, I don't know, more organic looking shots. If you actually try and do like a proper straight line grid for everything, it really starts to look like shit depending on what you're trying to draw. This Mustang would definitely not look right if I tried to draw it with only like straight lines and stuff. You know what? We're just gonna draw the car first and do our best. Especially shit like speed. If you want to draw something that looks like it's going at you fast, you absolutely need to like bend that perspective. I know you're a savings-pilled frugal Chad, but is there anything where you prefer the name brand article? I used to think that I don't use the name brand for this. I still use the Kroger brand, the grocery store, American grocery store brand for this. But I initially thought that floss, dental floss, it didn't really matter what kind of dental floss I bought. So I bought the super like thin kind. And then I came to the realization that you have to spend more money on buying the expensive dental floss. So I buy like the store brand version of Crest Glide, basically. You know, like the thicker types of dental floss. Dental pumps are a good investment. I'll tell you what's a good investment. Penis pumps. Your mother who pumps my penis. I always neglect using dental floss because even the super thin ones don't fit. This motherfucker's teeth are too tightly attached together. Electric toothbrushes are the best. I stopped using electric toothbrushes after it didn't seem like there was any difference in the amount of cavities I got. I went back to using normal ones. I feel like I'm getting scammed with electric toothbrushes. They might be slightly better, but I don't know, man. I'm kind of skeptical about them. I didn't go to the dentist for like 5 years or 4 years or something after I graduated college. And when I went to the dentist, they're like, you need a root canal, LMAO. And I was properly flossing and brushing and shit like that, but they're like, nah, you need your proper cleanings and shit. I guess the whatever cleaning they do that the dentists do is necessary. I don't know. I can never tell if the dentists are just like taking my money and I don't have any problems with my teeth. There's always that possibility. I'm just getting scammed. Like, unless you're the type of person that waits until you have like an actual cavity that they need to pull the fucking tooth and you're in agony and it's like black and rotting. And unless you're one of those like fucking psychos, it's very hard to be like, oh, you know, the dentist just says that I have a cavity and I can clearly tell there's a cavity, you know? So every time they're like, you have a cavity, you need a filling, I'm always like, are you sure? But yeah. At one point, I basically just had to decide that, like, I was just gonna blindly believe whatever they told me, you know? And be okay with it and just live with it. Because if I start being like, well, what if they're fucking, you know, trying to take my money? Maybe I can skimp on this. There's just like, what's the point of even going to the dentist? Back in the day, barbers would have taken care of those teeth. Yes, just bring out the pliers and just yank it off. Trained professionals, so maybe they are kind of right. Maybe. But they also have an obvious, you know, direct benefit for choosing to tell you that you have a cavity. As in they, you know, they can charge more money. It's like how I charge my commissioners an extra $100 for every futa cock they want added to their commission. Just kidding, I don't do that, but I probably should. And if it's a gigantic girthy futa cock, it's even more expensive. Have you noticed that cars are just as complex as, like, guns? But I've never seen, like, car coomers show up in the comments section of someone drawing a car and being like, excuse me, sir. I just noticed that you drew that 1976 Shelby Mustang with a rear spoiler. However, I just like to point out that actually that model was not available in that type. That was only available in the 1978 Mustang. That was a limited release. Did you not know that? Basically, I'm complaining about K people, you know, the gun coomers. Always fucking complaining about whatever accuracy about their stupid fucking guns all the time. When will Pixar make a Guns movie franchise? Unfortunately, that's too creative for current Pixar. I don't think they'll ever figure that out. They're just gonna make another movie about a young boy who is secretly gay, or at least gay-coded, and then Disney's gonna be like, no, DEI is over, you're not allowed to do that. Next Toy Story spin-off, Trust. Woody learns an important lesson when he mistakenly shoots his new child owner dead with his Colt single action army. Tragedy strikes when Woody forgets to turn on the safety for his pistol. Young Timmy finds Woody's pistol in the cabinet and uses it by mistake. Let this be a lesson for all gun owners to keep your firearms unloaded and in a locked gun cabinet. Very important. Also, the Gunsmith cat's author is very obviously a lolicon, just based on the type of bodies he likes drawing. Just wanted to point that out. Oh my god, guys. Don't you know? He's literally child pizza-ing. Favorite gun girl? Is Osaka a nice place or will I get ripped off? Osaka is now full of Chinese, so possibly, I don't know. You said you won't be able to have a gun now that you're moving to Japan. I don't have a gun right now either. Americans been like, no, I love Japan, but I could never move there because I can't own fucking guns and smoke weed. I'm sorry, but there are more important things in life than owning a firearm and using marijuana. Like, you know, having government supported healthcare. That's kind of nice. Japan has had a lot of anti-immigration protests recently. Japan is finally realizing that they might have to overhaul their stupid, outdated policing now that they've let in 10,000 immigrants that are cutting up copper infrastructure and selling the copper on the market and stuff like that. Most of the immigrants who actually live in Japan that aren't like fucking criminals are pretty much okay with Japanese finally starting to do some anti-immigration protests, because honestly it's incredibly easy to just abuse the Japanese extremely generous social services systems. It's not like America where everybody is already like fucking on their own and $1 million of credit card debt. If you actually use the Japanese systems like unemployment and the government healthcare and shit like that, there's just a shit ton of stuff you can get out of it. So your American citizenship is hereby forfeited. So technically I'm supposed to choose whether I'm going to be an American citizen or a Japanese citizen according to the Japanese government. They don't want you to have dual citizenship after you're 20 years old, actually. And I've been delaying that because there's no way for them to confirm whether you still have American citizenship on the Japanese side, so they just let it slide. So that's why I've been allowed to keep dual passports this long. But if my mother is kicking me out of the house and I'm not going to be able to come back anytime soon, I mean, I don't really have to do anything if I'm already in Japan. I can just update my passports and stuff normally, but it's not Donald Trump that's trying to take away my American citizenship. America is fine with you having dual citizenships. It's actually Japan who's like, no, you gotta decide whether you're a Japanese samurai Yamato Damashi or whether you're a cowboy. 18 naked cowboys pulling up to Ram Ranch. Ram Ranch really rocks. Sucking and fucking. You're actually getting kicked out? I'm getting kicked out because my mother is doing expensive second floor renovations. So technically she's also getting kicked out. And I've tried to convince her that it's a waste of money because it doesn't actually increase the house price. But when my mother decides she wants something, then she gets it done. She's not specifically kicking me out, but the entire second floor is getting renovated. So yeah, I'm basically getting kicked out. And if I'm not immediately moving back in once the construction is done, and I'm out of the country for it, still out of the country at the time, then she's probably gonna start just like moving her books and stuff into my bedroom, so I probably won't be able to move back in. So I pretty much am getting kicked out, I would say, permanently. America being against dual citizenship would be stupid concept considering the entire country is built on immigration. Yeah, but the current American economy is also built on having illegal immigrants do all the labor that Americans don't want to do, like pick fruit and work in slaughterhouses and stuff. But then they're also trying to actively deport all these immigrants as well, so there's a lot of room for stupidity in the world. They're deporting people trying to get in through legal channels, LMAO. You know what's gonna happen is that this is basically the whole like gun owners argument about how like the criminals can get in their gun and either way. So you need to let, you know, normal people own a gun legally. They're just gonna deport all the people who are like actually trying to, you know, follow the law and be a normal non-illegal immigrant, and then all like the professional meth dealers are just going to stay undeported because they're not going to be showing up on the radar of ICE. Ultimately, I don't really care because I'm trying to escape the fucking country. That's kind of the point, right? Alright, let's do this. Believe in your ability to draw lines. You can do it, boys. Gonna be interesting to see Chinese population collapse or pollution. I'm guessing you're saying population. Global manufacturing is gonna be in a pickle. The entire world seems like it's like a ticking time bomb. Like all the economic systems and stuff that we've relied on in the last like 20 years or maybe even 50 years are about to fucking just like go belly up in the next like 15 years or so, it feels. Including, of course, the AI bubble, which is probably gonna fucking explode in the next year. None of this shit seems even the slightest bit sustainable. Every day I grow more grateful of not being American. Don't tell the Americans, they don't even know that they're living in a shithole. That's the American superpower, stupidity. 90% of Americans haven't left the country or lived under a different system, so they're like, nobody has got it better than me, God bless America, Kekona clap. I didn't expect to see one of my favorite artists drawing my favorite anime. Don't go back 10 minutes in the VOD in which I call it a shit anime. Actually, I think the anime is fine because it has like the insane animation quality. I'm more of have an issue with the manga because the plot isn't that great. You have to be able to ejaculate just by seeing guns and cars and stuff, which is a lot of people. My American superpower is being allowed to own a machine gun. The manga is terrible, the OVA is excellent. The manga is okay if all you care about is, again, seeing, like, very well drawn images of cars and stuff. Notice how he's still using fisheye. You always have to have like some amount of like curvature in the items that you draw, or else it starts to look weird. Although that might just be the manga page. This might be just like a paper page being scanned, actually, now that I look at it. But I think you need to get used to drawing stuff with some amount of fisheye, which is what I'm practicing right now. Here's a better version of a scan that is clearly, you know, not the page, where you accentuate the curvatures of the front of the Mustang. They're bending the entire space of the page like this. What do you think of Murata's vehicle drawing skills? It's okay. I don't think he cares about drawing vehicles as much as he cares about drawing hot girls. I always wonder about Toriyama and why everybody always says he's the best at drawing mecha and like vehicles, and what makes people feel that way. Because I don't necessarily disagree with that. But it's almost a universal opinion that Toriyama is like the best person at drawing mechs. So I always look at Toriyama drawings to try and figure out like what makes it feel that way. Like if you look at this tank, for example, I think it's because he draws mechs in the same way that he draws people. Like, he doesn't use a ruler for any of these lines. Look how squiggly they are. They always feel kind of like organic and weighty. And he always puts a little bit of nice like weathering and stuff everywhere. Like, there isn't any like clear difference in the line weight and stuff between the way he draws the vehicle and the way he draws people, right? They're all sort of like an organic whole. He also just has like a really strong feeling of the form and what forms feel good, and that goes for people as well. Just like the roundness and the volume of the truck here, for example. I think that's really sort of the core, one of the core skills of drawings that people find enjoyable, is being able to find like comfy feeling volumes in your objects. But I've said this before and I'll say it again, you probably shouldn't be trying to copy Toriyama, because a lot of people have tried and nobody has been able to really get the same feeling. Just look at Dragon Ball Super. Probably one of the hardest artists to copy and, you know, be able to replicate the appeal of it. Would you like to be a centaur? Sure, why not? As a man, I feel like we all want to have the experience of we show our penis to a woman and she's like, no, that's too big, it won't fit. But the chances of a woman saying that to me in my current form are pretty low. So I'd be able to achieve my goal by becoming a centaur, I think. Sorry, saying what? I was just saying that as a man, the last thing you want when a woman sees your penis is to be like, oh, that's very cute and small and attractive. Men want women to see their penis and experience horror and awe, like they're looking on the Space Odyssey monolith for the first time or something. And if I'm not a centaur, I don't think I'll ever experience a woman looking at my penis with awe and horror. It's not grand and amazing, so becoming a centaur would be able to, it would allow me to have higher penis upside, you know? Men really don't like cute as a descriptor when it comes to dicks. I mean, men don't want to be called cute under any circumstance, but getting your penis called cute is probably the worst thing that can happen to you as a man. If a woman is like, I enjoy your penis, it's very non-threatening. As a man, you're like, I have failed. My entire existence has failed. There's nothing else I can do. I may as well just give my wife to the black basketball exchange student so she can come back covered in barcodes and piercings. Never question why there is always like a convenient black basketball exchange student at this Korean university. He's just there, okay? Because, you know, if there's one place where exchange students need to go to further cultivate their basketball talent, it's in Korea. Last time I heard, South Korea and North Korea both have a lot of b-ball fans, though. I mean, I'm sure they have b-ball fans. I'm just saying that it's always like a fucking exchange student. Because not even the Korean cuckold fetishist can accept the level of suspension of disbelief required to just be like, I'm having a professional basketball player living in my house right now. He will be fucking my mother or whatever. If you are black and studying in Korea and probably wanting to get in the job market, you may have made a big mistake. How about if you're in Korea in general and wanting to get into the job market, you have made a big mistake? Unfortunately, Koreans don't have any option. It's over. I have zero frame of reference for Korea as far as East Asia goes. I know Rui Hachimura and that's it. Rui standing in the corner with his hands held out, waiting for LeBron to pass him the ball. Hachimura, yes. for Rui Ah. I always think it's funny how he always has like his hands held out in like shooting position, and he gets the ball like once at a time. On the other hand, it's going to be Luka going forward, so he's probably going to get the ball quite a bit. At least more than, you know, old man LeBron at this point. My frame of reference as a financial analyst, essentially a handful of stocks sell in Korea, meaning it's a very restricted and likely unpleasant place to work. The general consensus for people who have lived or still are living in Korea is that it's the closest thing to a cyberpunk dystopia that we have in the current world. You have like China, which is a non-cyberpunk dystopia. It's just like a normal classic dystopia, but Korea is like the cyberpunk version of it. Everything is owned by like 3 different corporations. If your childhood friend isn't being cucked by the conveniently appearing black exchange student, she's being cucked by the extremely attractive Korean Zaibatsu, like Samsung owner child or whatever guy, who is also like 6'8" and looks like a K-pop star. From my frame of reference as a professional masturbator, I know that Koreans are in a constant state of jacking off to NTR porn, which says a lot about their mindset that they're in right now. Professional Coomer Challenge. Try and find a Korean hentai on eHentai that doesn't involve blacked and NTR content. Difficulty impossible. Find one in which the skinny, pathetic MC-kun gets to keep his childhood friend and they marry happily. The only situation in which the MC doesn't get cucked is if he's having incest with his aunt. Have you watched that K-pop movie that came out recently, K-pop Demon Hunters? No, I have not, because I don't have Netflix. I did watch some of the replays on YouTube, but I'm not a 10-year-old child. I will say I'm a big fan of the Spider-Verse animation team as a whole. I like what they're trying to do. They're more experimental than all the stuff that Disney has been producing recently, so... slightly more interesting. Don't we also have a discussion some time ago about how Korean authors just hate the other gender to death? Not Korean authors, the entire Korean population. There's a reason why, even among the world in which birth rates have fallen like to like 1.2 or 1.3 and stuff in most developed countries, Korea is the only country that has somehow achieved the 0.8 or something. It's like a 0.6 if we're just limiting to Seoul only. Excuse me, it's 0.55 in 2023. What? I'm just searching this and it just says South Korean birth rate surged the fastest rate in a generation. June 26, 2025. Number of babies born in April rises to 20,000 at a year-on-year rate last seen in 1991, although overall fertility rate remains below replacement levels. What the fuck? Births have been rising for 10 consecutive months. Oh no, hopium is coming back, guys. A recent United Nations report classified South Korea among nations experiencing ultra-low fertility, calculating a 0.1% probability that the country will recover to sustainable birth rates within 3 decades. KEKW. I don't know, guys. I don't think anybody really knows why birth rates are down and if they're going to recover or not, so there's really no point in worrying about it. That's less sex than the average gunsmith has in a year. Impressive considering gunsmiths are terrified of women. Don't worry about it, honestly. I mean, we shouldn't have to worry both about the unsustainability about humans living on the planet when every single time we use ChatGPT to search for porn, we're evaporating 10 million gallons of fresh potable water and causing people in Peru to die of dehydration, but then also be like, wait, we need more people to type, search results into ChatGPT. Like, you can't have both at the same fucking time, guys. Come on. Let's just not worry about it. The front of the Mustang is the hardest part to draw. It has a very complex front bumper area. But I guess that's every car. If you watch any YouTube videos, they're always like how to draw people, how to draw cubes in space. None of them are like how to draw cars, because drawing cars is hard as fuck. They don't want their audience to give up becoming an artist when they try and draw a car, which is definitely what would happen. There was one AI-powered supermarket that opened up recently, but they eventually found it was just Indians operating the whole systems there. Yeah, that's basically been every tech innovation in the last 10 years. It's like, guys, we figured out a way to automate the process, and it's just sending it overseas and having a million underpaid Indians do everything. But we already knew that. The Wizard of Oz behind the curtain was just an Indian call center. Always was. Especially any AI tech that claims that they can automate shit like, cooking and stuff. They definitely are not doing that. If Indians took like 5% better care of their country, they'd rule the world. I just like to point out that If you go to India today, you can find streets still covered in shit. Cow shit, human shit, dog shit. So, about that whole rule the world thing. Yeah. I never said it'd be a good world. It's pretty funny how in the 90s my impression of Indians was they're just all doctors and super smart people. But it turns out that there was a reason why all the doctors and the upper castes were trying so desperately hard to get the fuck out of India so they could make $100,000 in America. The consequences for YouTube scam bait video channels has been disastrous for Indian PR. Isn't India the home of the most polluted river in the world because they keep shitting in it? Yes. This is true. It's also because in the 90s legal immigration was also just really choosy with who came in. Yep. And it was that way after that as well. That's why we have things like H1B1 visas where they were just trying to get Indians in to do like coding. The guy who produced DMC Netflix is not helping with Indian PR either. Not only has YouTube scam baiter channels been really bad for Indian PR, basically everything involving AI has also been really bad for Indian PR as well. I don't know why Indians love AI so much, but they really, really, really like AI. It's very strange. Heard he wants to make Berserk also. I think the only way to protect your IP is to just never die. Because holy shit, you're gonna get people trying to parasitically attach themselves to whatever you accomplished. A primordial soup of death and decay. Let's see what happens if I check out YouTube Japanese video traveler people.
ここは神秘の川で毎日数千人が推計感染症で亡くなり、その中には子供も含まれる。しかしたとえそうであっても、この川は現地人の心の中では依然神聖な存在で、それがインドのガンジス川なので、2016年、インドはガンジス川のミネラルウォーターを発売し、1本の価格は日本円で約40円である。ネットで売られた最初のロットは10万本で、わずか1時間で巡礼地で、雪解けになると、ここはいつも何千人もの巡礼者で溢れかえる。
I mean, you can go into the Ganges River if you're at like the top of it, like the beginning where it starts.
地元の最も重要な収入源なので、人々は過度な抗議ができず、
This is kind of the problem, is that there's just a lot of animals that shit everywhere.
これは世界基準の200倍で、仮に糞便がもう耐えられないというなら、次の万以上の大腸菌が含まれ、
There's 200 times the global standard of stomach bacteria
基準の200倍で、仮に糞便が
in the
次の
Ganges.
シーンはもっとおぞましい。これらの川面に浮かぶ正体不明の
That's a corpse, by the way.
動物の死体だ。インドでは火葬が盛んで、ヒンドゥー教徒は火葬した死者の骨骸をガンジス川に撒けば永遠に救われると
So
信
they
じている。
burn the bodies and they dump it into the
ハンセン
river.
病患者などは除外され、これらの遺体は直接川に投げ込まれる。これについて彼らは至極当然だと思って
Fertility rates are being massively hit in India due to pollution. Are you sure it's pollution though? Because like India is also going through a transition in their economy just like every other country, even if it's not as much. So isn't it just like them transitioning to more of a first world economy and then birth rates are going down like it always happens? Women entering white-collar workforce, etc., etc. If there's any females in chat, you need to exit the stream right now because I'm going to have to dump a truth pill about how women need to stay home and have 10,000 babies to repopulate South Korea instead of working in your dead-end office job. I know this is heartbreaking to you. I know you really love that call center job that you work so hard for. You stay home, we go to the mines. The only reason we even have mines is because Republicans still fetishize coal mining for some reason. Nothing manlier than black lung. It's really hard to understand why America still loves coal so much if you don't have like Fox News. But like there's something about coal mining in American media where it's just like, yeah, it's so manly. This is the heart of America. Damn liberals told our coal miners that they need to learn how to code, but nah. They're all losing their jobs from AI where our coal industry is strong as ever. It's like, why the fuck do you guys love going deep into the earth and dying from black lung so much? It's really hard to understand, but it triggers some part of the Republican brain about like the male identity of American ingenuity or some shit like that. I don't know. Both sides are stupid when it comes to energy. I don't think promoting renewable energy with a very small government incentives is that stupid. There's a lot of shit that people want both sides about in America, but 95% of the time it's basically Republicans just being stupid. There's some things that you can both sides in American politics, but usually it's just the Republican side is just being incredibly fucking retarded. In any case, they're building a shit ton of data centers in Appalachia. what's gonna happen to all these data centers. Like, how do they eventually make money when they have enough fucking data? I mean, I know what they're thinking. It's not make money in AI in its current form. It's make money when AI somehow evolves into an AGI that can do every single thing for the economy. That's like a supercomputer or some shit. So they don't actually care if they're not making money in the current format in which, you know, there is no really money-making mechanism. It's like actually a fucking religion. They think that there's just gonna be like some sort of technological breakthrough if they build enough shit. Sadly, this isn't a both sides, but God, these parties getting more retarded each decade. The thing is, the problem is that most of the shit that the Democratic parties push is kind of like unpopular shit. It's like the eat your vegetables type things, like we have to stop using coal because we're all gonna fucking die of lung cancer, and also there's global warming. And then the Republican policy is like, whee! Tax cuts! Everyone's like, yeah, I fucking hate paying taxes. Ignoring the fact that, you know, the American economy is fueled by $1 trillion of government spending, debt. The goal is to get Microsoft or Google or US government to give them more billions? Yes. It's not really capitalism at this point. If Dems are pushing for renewables only and are anti-nuclear, that's generally a very bad energy position, almost worse than coal. The thing is that the Democratic Party also has a lot of rabid environmentalists in it, and rabid environmentalists do not like nuclear. That's kind of a huge problem about the Democratic Party, is that it needs to contain a lot of sides that don't actually agree with each other, whereas the Democratic or the Republican voters tend to be like in lockstep much more. So it's much easier to just have like a unified front on the Republican side. They're building a bunch of meta data centers back in Louisiana. There's a huge XAI data center in Memphis that has been causing a shit ton of pollution. God, I'm so glad I'm going to Japan, where people still use fucking fax machines. Coal isn't even efficient. That's part of the problem. Like, if it was just purely capitalism, coal would have been completely replaced by now. The reason it's been getting kept alive is because of some weird, like, ideological shit by the Republican Party. Like, there's something behind the core concept of coal that the Republicans just enjoy. Don't ask why. Remember when conservatives cared about conserving the environment? No, I don't actually, because that was in like 1920 or something. My entire living life, conservatives have not give a fuck about conserving the environment. That's way too far ago to remember that shit. Are morons still worshipping Trump? Holy shit, of course they are. Why would they stop? Recently, my Planet Fitness returned. They used to not have Fox News on it, and now Fox News is back on the TV, so I get my healthy dose of the type of propaganda that boomer age people who have Fox News on all day long get, and it's pretty scary. You can kind of see why they vote for Trump, because it really is sort of non-stop propaganda for Trump. Leftists are so desperate they think Trump died because it's trending on Twitter. The only people who are on Twitter at this point are starving artists like myself and like the most desperate of human beings, including the right and the left, who get their sustenance by getting in endless Twitter fights with each other. If anything is trending on Twitter, it's probably incredibly stupid, so... In fact, when I've clicked on the "this is trending right now" on Twitter, not once have I ever gotten useful information. It's always been just horse shit, so... It's been rumored he's been having kidney issues and that he's too elderly for a kidney transplant. I mean, he's probably not just going to die immediately. It's impossible to tell if he's having kidney issues because one of the symptoms for that shit is like yellowish skin. But, you know, that would be impossible to tell with Trump. How can you tell? Trending doesn't matter to me unless it's a Blender update or a video game. I must get my Bing Bing Wahoo Nintendo Switch news. God, why the fuck did I decide to draw a picture that includes both a car and a gun? Of all fucking things. Now I need to look for reference images of someone holding a shotgun on their shoulder. Person holding shotgun on shoulder pointed in air. I used to own an airsoft gun when I was drawing my first manga in Japan that I bought specifically for this purpose so I could pose with the gun and figure out like the positioning of it and shit. Whatever. That's the problem with guns. I can't just be like, whatever, this is close enough, because people will be like, excuse me, sir. I've noticed that it appears that Raleigh is holding a Mossberg 500 there, but I'd just like to point out that the Mossberg 500 doesn't have that type of grip, and that is extremely unrealistic. Please understand, sir, that is not the correct proportions for the Mossberg. Can we get a flag bikini and burger with some fries to check off the list? Guys, I have some bad news for you, but Raleigh Vincent is brown. She is the very symbol of the undesirable non-white people invading our beautiful country. If you have sex with Raleigh Vincent and have more brown children with her, you're literally contributing to white genocide. You can have sex with the blonde loli though. That's okay. Twitter is praying. He had an unusual weekend of 0 public appearances, so at a minimum he is very under the weather. Are you guys... Are they seriously worried about Trump dying just because he didn't show up for one weekend in the fucking public? And people are like, oh no, Mr. President, I hope he's okay. In today's news, in my feed, it says Rudy Giuliani injured in New Hampshire crash after helping abuse victim. To which everybody is like, what the fuck is this news? Official statement. On the evening of August 30th, 2025 in New Hampshire, Mayor Giuliani, I like how they're still fucking calling him mayor as if he's mayor for life, was involved in a motor vehicle accident. Prior to the incident, he was flagged down by a woman who was the victim of a domestic violence incident. Mayor Giuliani immediately rendered assistance and contacted 911. Well, not 911, 911. He remained on scene until responding officers arrived to ensure her safety. Following this, while traveling on the highway, Mayor Giuliani's vehicle was struck from behind at high speed. He was transported to a nearby trauma center where he was diagnosed with a fractured thoracic vertebrae, multiple lacerations and contusions. His business partner and medical provider were promptly contacted. At this, is head of Mayor Giuliani's security. So, this is incredibly weird, sus news. And I checked the comments, and the best comment I saw was, I don't believe a single shit about this. My guess is that he had tried to skim a prostitute that he was trying to buy sex from, and then because he had scammed her, the prostitute's pimp chased him down and rammed him with an SUV or some shit. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Seems about right. I would believe that story. Meanwhile, Putin disappears for months. Yeah, but Putin has to work super hard so he doesn't get fucking assassinated. So he has way more of an excuse to disappear for months at a time. It is kind of crazy to think that in the next probably 10 years, all of the major leaders, the autocratic leaders of the major nuclear countries, Trump, Xi Jinping, Putin, 10 to 15 years, they're all going to die of old age or something, or at least become too old that they won't be able to hold on to their power. It's pretty crazy if you think about it that way. So, besides all the fucking impending depression that's coming and the AI bubble bursting and stuff like that, there's just going to be a shit ton of instability that's going to hit us very soon, one way or the other. So nobody actually knows what the fuck's going to happen, other than Japanese corporations not being able to use AI. That I can bet on, so... At least we got Kissinger out of the way. Don't speak too soon. He might come back from the dead. Even if Henry Kissinger is gone, he's always there in my heart. You can't take that away, okay? Cheney is like Newt Gingrich, an evil old man run out by MAGA zealots. Cheney is an interesting figure because he's definitely like still alive just by his burning power of hatred. But I would still prefer Cheney to whatever insane ass situation we have going on right now. Search Trump ill. Wait, what happens if I type in pray for Trump? Pray for Trump. This is the first image I get from Trinity. Pray for God's protection over President Trump and his family. Prayer hands, America, prayer hands. Her username is Girly Tattooed. She has Jesus sign, heart, Trinity, heart, Jesus sign, blue check mark. AI generated slop of white Jesus holding, or it looks like white Jesus is giving Trump a massage, and Trump is like, I'm good, bro, and Jesus is like, no, don't worry. He's like, please stop. It looks like we're having some bad touch moments between Jesus and Trump right now. Like, Trump is very uncomfortable about the overly intimate massage that Jesus is giving him right now. But Jesus is too powerful, so he can't stop him from being touched. Pretty dark future we have here. Make Trump dead, please, for the good of the people and for the future. I beg and pray. Amen. O great celestial being, thou art like no other. It's more the leftist praying for his death than for him to not die. But I guess the rightists have to believe in Jesus and counter pray. I feel like we're in 500 year BC or something. These people actually think they're fighting some sort of cosmic war between each other. I hope the first person Trump sees in hell is Epstein. Epstein probably bro, you still haven't paid me for that one massage. Trump was like, don't worry. I'll pay you back anytime now. You can trust my credit. Everybody knows my credit is good. Gavin Newsom is California Patrick Bateman, but his Trump impressions on social media were pretty funny. I'm pretty sure that isn't him writing them. That's probably his staff, dude. It's a Latina social media manager, yeah. Nobody actually writes their own Twitter posts at this point, even Trump. They all have someone that mimics their style. I'm pretty sure it's not that hard to do Trump styles once you get used to it. Taking that they go low, we go high approach didn't work. I mean, it really doesn't matter about these approaches and stuff like that. Like, it's just... There are larger factors than whatever political campaigns here. Just have a stroke and leave caps locks on? No, Trump has a, he has a specific style in which he capitalizes weird words. It's not just everything is capitalized. Like, you have to capitalize words that it doesn't make sense while you're capitalizing it. It's not even like consistent, like he only capitalizes the words that he wants to emphasize. It really has to just be like, you have to capitalize weird words in the middle of nowhere where it's like, why is he choosing to capitalize this? Every once in a while he'll have like a word that's completely in all caps, but it's not consistent. I wonder if all of this is because Obama kissed Melania on the cheek once. I don't know. I can't imagine that Trump actually cares about his wives enough to really actually get angry over them. I think he's too self-absorbed. Like, you can't actually be cucked if you only care about yourself. I know that personally. I guess if he felt humiliated on a personal level by that, it would matter, but I haven't heard anybody really talk about that, so... We shouldn't make deals with the EU. They literally have union in their name and we can't have that. No way. Expect new tariffs soon. You forgot to talk about how beautiful America was. Have you ever used 3D modeling to help you make art? No. I'm not a cuck. Also, I suck at using computers. If I had a manga in which I had to draw 500 panels with a Ford Mustang in it, I might hire someone to make a Ford Mustang model for me. I don't know. That seems like a pretty good idea. I mean, like making a reference to draw paint over, but I guess it's more of a painting thing. No, manga authors use 3D models all the time nowadays, especially if they're trying to conserve time because they're on, you know, the standard insane deadlines. People use 3D. I mean, look, read fucking Gantz, for example. That's just all 3D models from beginning to end. I mean, the background stuff. People will just like have like 3D models of like house and shit prepared for them. And then they have the, what do you call them, digital 3D model dolls that they set up in space, and then they can draw over those as well. But I figure I'm good enough at like rotating shit in my mind that like I don't really need 3D models. Personally, I think there are very few things that use 3D models in which it isn't very noticeable. So I can't say that I want to be part of that group. Like if I was having a huge amount of difficulty drawing shit in space and I felt like I absolutely needed a 3D model, I might consider it, but I don't really feel that way. I feel like my slightly incorrect version of whatever I'm drawing freehand is probably going to look better than if I was, you know, trying to draw shit with a 3D model. I feel like people really appreciate being able to sort of feel the author's hand in whatever drawing that you're drawing. Flexing that ability to visualize an apple and having an inner monologue. I truly don't understand people who can't do that. Although I don't have like, if you look at the aphantasia graph or whatever, like what percentage of you guys, like which version of these guys are? Because I'm like a 3. Because like I don't need to visualize shit in color, so I don't actually think in color. I haven't actually trained myself to do that. Although I think it's weird that moderately clear and vivid, perfectly clear and vivid as normal vision, clear and reasonably vivid, vague, and dim. It's actually probably 2 for me. So I don't think you actually need to be able to visualize shit that well. Like when I actually close my eyes, like, and I'm like cyberpunk, you know, person, it's kind of like this. Like, oh, there's like a person, and like all the lines are going different places, and it's like, oh, like, yeah, it generally feels like that, you know, and I'll give them a helmet, and, you know, it's like about this amount, and then there's like a street, and, you know, there's a door. This is about the amount of detail I can get in my brain. And then when I try and visualize female body, I'm like, oh, immediate concrete lines. Like suddenly it's like, oh, I can see the ass, I can see the back, I can see the pussy, oh, you know, it suddenly becomes super clear because I've spent way too much time looking at porn, so it's way easier to visualize that shit. I don't even try and visualize colors and stuff because, like, I don't really need to. I can instantly conjure up a level 5 boob, yeah. Rotate the nipple in your mind. Honestly, there is a part of me that thinks that the whole aphantasia shit is just bullshit. Because pretty much every professional artist has like a shit ton of references anyways. It's kind of irrelevant. The more accomplished a professional artist is, the more they just have a shit ton of references. It's bullshit, but it's bullshit that one can learn to think they have so that they stop being creative and only consume on YouTube. It's like the internal struggle between doomers who don't want to actually learn how to draw, and then YouTube, like, you can learn how to draw with these 5 easy steps as long as you buy my course. Hopium, people. Just goes back and forth. And ultimately neither of those people learn how to draw because it just comes down to drawing for like 10,000 hours anyways. And the people who want to draw already want to draw, and they just draw on their own, and they don't need any kind of like aphantasia cope about why they can't draw. Or, you know, YouTube tutorials telling them how to draw or whatever. They just draw, so... But buy my course, LMAO. You too can learn how to draw, my friend. I should start doing how to draw YouTube videos. I can diversify by telling people they won't be able to make it. I can offer a different product by being like, it's no use. Murata could already draw better than any of us when he came out of the womb. You'll never be him. I do feel like it's pretty disingenuous how most YouTube, like, you can draw people, never just straight up say the amount of hours it's probably going to take for people to just become like moderately good and be able to draw something that they're satisfied with without being extremely disappointed in themselves. And it's like at a minimum 5,000 hours, even if they're talented. But people don't say that because they don't want people to get discouraged. They don't want people to think about it. They're just like, learn to have fun and enjoy the journey, you know? I don't think you can make overhyped YouTuber voice. I don't think there's a lot of art YouTubers that do like the, what's up guys, let's go, kind of energy. They're more like, there is one crazy trick that you're not doing that other art YouTubers won't tell you, and I'm going to tell you now in 10 minutes later after I talk about how you need to buy my course. Go to 4chan, go to TG, take requests until you get good. Yeah, buddy, we were there. I didn't do any TG requests. I only did V and A requests, by the way. TG people just started reposting my art once I started drawing fantasy content. I might have done like 1 TG request, I think, in total. Very rare for me to go onto TG. Most of TG hobbies are like communal hobbies that you do with your friends, like in a physical location, so for that reason alone, I'm kind of like disqualified from those hobbies. I just don't like being around other human beings, so... Okay, I have to really figure out the center line of this car because, yeah, I don't think this is correct right now. Here's the center of the license plate. It goes up like this. Sticks out a little bit. And maybe it's not that off. Yeah, I think it might be okay. I don't know. Because there's those two stripes on it. That's going to make it way harder. God. The Gunsmith Cat's author was fucking psychotic for being like, I want to draw so many panels with fucking cars in them. What a psychopath. I am beginning to understand your hatred of humanity, BB. I had a disastrous fantasy football draft today. You don't even know if you have a bad football draft or not. This is the NFL. People get, like, injured every single fucking week. There is no sure things. Unless you're betting on, like, the Chicago Bears quarterback to be good or something, then you might be fucked, I guess. That Shaman King arc where all the angel spirits became sports cars? Yeah. Takeda Sensei really, really, really likes mecha and sports cars and construction equipment. I, on the other hand, do not. Asshole started early. I didn't get the quarterback I wanted. I will endure. Chicago Bears, that's a name I haven't heard in ages. Yeah. The Bears. The Bears have not been relevant for a very, very long time. I remember when in 2012, when I first started working an office job and I needed something to listen to while I was translating shit in the office, I would listen to sports radio, and you could get like local feeds of sports radio. So I was listening to Chicago sports radio, and my god, like every single Monday there would be like a 2-hour rant about how Jay Cutler had been disappointing again, and I'd just be like, LMAO, LOL. If I just Google Jay Cutler, it says former NFL quarterback Jay Cutler sentenced to 4 days in jail for DUI. Cutler, 42, was arrested in October after he rear-ended another vehicle with his pickup truck. Yeah, that seems about right. I think Jay Cutler is probably the most disappointing human being on the planet. Still resentful about their fans after Katrina. They held up signs during a Saints game that they said finishing what Katrina started. I feel like the people that are part of fan bases that had a very small amount of success and then became really shitty are the ones that end up being like the worst humans, I feel. Because they feel like they expect to get back to greatness, but they know they won't. Alright, let's play a little guess the game. And then I'm gonna go work out. This looks like shit, guys. Honestly, I can't tell if this is just like really bad PS3 textures. It looks more like a PS4 era game. In a close-up, resembles a Zelda game. Yeah, but there's mesh at the bottom. I don't think Zelda has that. Gigante fight stage. The palette doesn't look like it's a RE4 palette though. I feel like we'd immediately recognize it if it was one of the Resident Evil games, just based on the lighting and stuff. I mean, it does kind of look like the furnace. I agree with that. But I feel like this is more of an autumn color than like a furnace. Let's try Resident Evil 4. See, if it wasn't Resident Evil 4, we'd feel bad for not getting it on the first try if it was Resident Evil 4, so we can try that. I highly doubt that, though. Yeah, it's definitely not. 88%. It's popular, though. Yellow gook on the wall. Could it be Portal? I don't think so. Look at these Jaggies. What platform is this? 88%. Oh, it's mouthwashing? Man, I can't keep up with this shit, man. I only know about mouthwashing because of the stupid fucking V. The V threads for it. And then all the porn of the girl. People just want a mentally damaged woman. Alright, previous days, let's fucking go. What's mouthwashing even about? It's like some sort of space horror something, I don't know. 697. What the fuck is this, boys? There's a jeans. Somebody in jeans. Modern setting. Birkenstocks. GTA 4. This? Nah. You think this is GTA? If it was GTA, it would be GTA 4. I agree with that. The textures are too bad to be GTA 5, and they're too good to be GTA 3. You really think this is GTA 4? I don't know, man. Oh, it's Grand, not Grand. I always get Gran Turismo and Grand Theft mixed up. No, yeah, PB. What the fuck does PB stand for? Is this a Saints Row thing? Could this be God Hand? This looks very Japanese, this sky and these textures. Doesn't this look like God Hand? I have never played God Hand, by the way. With this kind of garish decoration, I know it exists in God Hand. And like this crispness, this kind of looks like God Hand. I'm gonna try God Hand. No, 777 Wii. Is this a No More Heroes thing? It's definitely a Japanese game, right? 84%. Was there some No More Heroes-esque? It's not No More Heroes. It looks like slightly different from No More Heroes. It's not Lollipop Chainsaw, right? That wasn't Wii. 85%. It's just Wii. Original platform is Wii. But this PB and this 777 definitely kind of has a very strong Suda feeling to it. It kind of looks like he's holding a chainsaw. Look at the shadow on the hand right here. It's very dark shading. This is definitely not No More Heroes. That's Travis Pants. Yeah, but the shoes are different, right? It's No More Heroes. It kind of feels like No More Heroes. 84% is pretty high, though. The jeans are right. And he kind of looks like he's holding something, and there's this like weird superhero shading on the hand. On the other hand, I don't really have any better guess than No More Heroes, so I'm going to try it, unless you guys have a better idea. And it's Wii only, so... Okay, it's 2. There we go. Here's Shinobu. There we go. I could recognize that delicious brown ninja ass anywhere. Genre: third-person hack and slash quick time events. It's sad that this is a genre. Unfortunately, it really is a genre, if you think about it. 2010. It was a very long time ago. People forget how odd the shading was on Wii. That's what happens when you release a video game console that's about as powerful as a Nintendo 64 5 years after. Alright, next day. Suda's stylish, but all his games play like ass. Yes. And his story is always cool, but then when you actually go into the story, you're like, this is fucking stupid. Alright, here we go. This definitely is a 3DS game, I would say. There's no way you get any kind of jaggies like this on anything besides the 3DS. I don't think you even get this kind of jaggies on the PSP, if you ask me. This has got to be a 3DS game. A 3DS game with a large fish monument in a weird gray skate. I have no idea. I guess it's like something like Nintendo architecture or some shit like that. Let's try some Zelda, like Spirit Tracks or something. Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks. It's not the... Too old for Metacritic. Interesting. So it's not 3DS then. Huh. I don't know. Could this be like 3D graphics on the SNES? That's a DS game? That's what I meant when I was saying 3DS. What I meant was DS, not 3DS. They're the same thing in my brain for some reason. It definitely looks like a DS game though, doesn't it? If it was Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass, it would give us a yellow. How old is Metacritic, by the way? Metacritic should cover DS games, I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna skip once. Oh, PS1. Okay, so we're wrong about the portable. Hearts. It's not Nintendo. I don't know what kind of heart gauge this is. What the fuck could this be? It feels like My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, the platformer or something. What's that PS1 game with the Joker? You're not talking about like Nights into Dreams, right? Because that's Sega Saturn. The Joker? Yeah, that's Nights into Dreams. What you're thinking about. That would be Sega Saturn. Although I understand why you would think it would be that. Pandemonium. Pandemonium? No. What the fuck is this? Action platformer fantasy. I have no fucking idea. It certainly looks like it's clown themed. I'll give you that. This is Klonoa? Okay. I'm not a furry who wants to have sex with cute shotas, so I didn't play Klonoa. Okay, so which Klonoa is it? There's a bunch of Klonoas. I can't remember. In Japanese, it was called Kaze no Kuronoa. But I don't know which one of these it is. What's the first one? Is it Door to Phantomile? Alright, you got it. Good job, chat. I wouldn't have guessed it unless I saw this. I never actually played any Klonoa. Yeah, Knights was on Saturn. I probably would have recognized Knights because I played it at the fucking Toys R Us. If we were true gamers, we probably would have been able to recognize this just by the hearts meter at the bottom. Klonoa is a 6 out of 10. Yeah, it seems about. It's still remembered though. It helps to have a somewhat distinctive main character if you think about it. Okay. Extremely blurry, like you're fucking drunk. We have a lot of like weird I'm about to pass out graphics. Good graphics. At least like PlayStation 4, maybe PlayStation 3. This is Max Payne? This? Huh. Yeah, that's a good guess. Yeah, I don't think it's 3. Max Payne 3 is in this very distinct, the Brazilian lighting. There is that square black head, and I'm pretty sure you would get like a blurry shot when you would take the painkillers. Let's try Max Payne 2. Yeah, I think you're right about Max Payne 2 on this one. Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne. What? Incorrect. Not even the Max Payne franchise. 58%. Definitely not Max Payne. It's an incredibly shitty game, guys. What the fuck is a 58% game? That's an awful game. A really shitty game that has weird blurriness and high-class apartments, but also like Miami Vice, True Crime. No, those would both score higher than 58%. Oh, Miami Vice video game. Huh. I have definitely never played Miami Vice the video game, I can guarantee that. True Crime New York is higher than 58%, I'm sure of that. I played that and it would get like... It would get a solid 70%. Very hard to get 58%. Let's try Dead to Rights. That seems like a game that would show up in Metacritic, but also have extremely bad Metacritic score. No. M9 Sniper Rifle, GameCube, Xbox, PS2, PC. 58%. What would be 58%? That's really bad. There's no Siphon Filter games in PS2, I think. It's on all the platforms. Could it be like one of the really shitty Tom Clancy games, like Ghost Recon, like SOCOM 5 or some shit? Yeah, I'm thinking it might be like some kind of Tom Clancy slop. But was there a Splinter Cell that got 58% on the PS2? SOCOM is PS exclusive. I don't think there's any Splinter Cell games, like shit that we remember, that's this bad. If it was one of those huge big name franchises and it was a 58% on Metacritic, I think we'd all remember it. I do think it's some sort of Tom Clancy slot. Let's try like SOCOM. But you said that it wasn't on Xbox. I don't know. It feels like it's got to be like a Tom Clancy shit. Splinter Cell was never rated 58%. No way. Let's put in Tom Clancy, and then we'll know that it's like the franchise, if it's right. Let's try like Ghost Recon 2, 2007. That seems like about the right timing. No, it's not a Tom Clancy. Could it be like a SWAT? Action shooter sci-fi. Wait, what about Silent Scope? They put this sniper rifle in here. What if it's like the Silent Scope console version? I've only played Silent Scope in the arcade. But I kind of feel like it's Silent Scope. Wasn't there like a console version that fucking sucked? I'm putting in Silent Scope. There's all these Silent Scope that I've never fucking touched. Everyone's like, no, I'm going for it. We don't have any better ideas. Let's try Silent Scope 2. Okay, no it's not. 2003. What the fuck is this guy? So 2003, PS2. The shooter sci-fi doesn't help. Oh, sci-fi, so it might be some kind of Matrix something. There is the sunglasses here. It's kind of hard to tell. Enter the Matrix. Oh, you might be right. Matrix was like 2001, right? That seems about right. Path of Neo. The Matrix. Path of Neo. So it is the Matrix franchise. Well, it's pretty obviously the Matrix. Here's Neo doing his kung fu shit. Shiny Entertainment, 58%. Yeah, if it's like below 60%, we should probably be thinking in terms of franchise movie properties, right? This is the original Enter the Matrix. Whoa, got it. Alright. Yeah. We probably shouldn't be thinking in terms of, like, actually good video games, because there's way more bad video games out there. What bullshit? Hey. It would be a way more fun game if Guess the Game was just, like, repeatedly video games that we liked, and being able to guess on, like, the first one. Like, remember when Snake Eater showed up, and, like, literally everybody in chat was just like, I recognize that green color! It's Snake Eater, Snake Eater, Snake Eater. Everyone was like, Snake Eater, Snake Eater, Snake Eater. That's a way more fun experience than trying to guess this shitty fucking game that nobody actually cares about. It should be popular games with super small clues. Yeah, that's what I think. It's way more fun to guess, like, you know, Majora's Mask by just looking at, like, a tiny part of the texture, instead of, like, trying to guess a shitty fucking game that nobody cares about. Alright, purple. Is this like Halo or something? Oh, there's something on the side that you can't see. What does this thing look like? It almost looks like Blizzard slop. Look at this purple shit. So they fixed this in future ones, but in the older ones, if you drag the mouse on the side, you can see stuff that's off screen. About to say WoW. It kind of looks like WoW, doesn't it? Like this purple shit. That's what I was thinking. It's not Halo combat involved based on this stuff on the side. This isn't visual information. There's a lot of purple stuff in Halo, though. Want to try WoW? I don't think we've had WoW yet. World of Warcraft. Let's try it. Like, this stuff on the side kind of looks like WoW, doesn't it? No. Weird magical shit, 80%. Probably not some kind of all-time bestseller if it's 80%, but maybe it is. Looks like some kind of animal. Is this like RTS, this camera angle? Because like this looks like an RTS, some kind of unit or resource. Two people saying Halo, I don't see it. I don't think it's Halo. Well, it's definitely not Halo based on this. There's nothing like this in Halo. Neverwinter Nights, that's a pretty good guess. This angle makes me think that it's like a top-down. Like, look at this. This definitely looks like an RTS or a CRPG. It's Last Epoch. I'll trust you on that. Yeah, isometric is the word I'm looking for. Good job. Someone had played it. Is this a recent game? It kind of looks like shit, guys. I can't believe it came out 2019 early access and came out in 2024. How? Because it's like people play this shit for like 10 million hours, that's why. It's fucking Korean Grinder. They've had to look at this fucking warp panel 10 billion times, so if you actually played it, you definitely know it. It's a fucking ARPG, wait for the gacha shit to drop stuff. I heard it's good. It's good until it becomes Korean Grinder mode, and then it's not as much fun anymore is what I hear, which is always the case, right? I thought this game is dead. I'm pretty sure it is. But, you know, again, it's Korean gacha, so... Not gacha. Korean, you know, grind to hell stuff, so... We already reached the peak of gaming. We only see the decaying corpse of quality. There'll be a good, video game here and there. You don't have to Expect good games nonstop. Alright. This is probably a pretty famous game based on this flower. They usually give you like these really limited, just like iconic things for games that are famous. But I didn't play enough like SNES or Game Boy. I can't tell even if this is SNES or Game Boy. Terraria? The angle seems wrong though. This looks like looking down a flower from above. Earthbound was what I was thinking. But I feel like Stardew Valley, that seems like a good guess. Not SNES yet. It might be a little different from SNES. Want to try Stardew? I feel like you guys would recognize Stardew Valley though. I feel like there's been enough Stardew Valley play that everybody would immediately recognize Stardew Valley. We can try it. This is the kind of image that they give you when it's like a super famous game. Not Stardew. Yeah, I think you would recognize if it was Stardew. Bit sparse for Stardew. If it's Woman Slop, it may go over us. There's only like 5 Woman Slop games. Let's try Earthbound. I don't know. The colors are off. I agree. Earthbound 3. Is there a 3? Earthbound. It's not Earthbound. Too old, so it is probably SNES. I think I need the platform to guess this one, honestly. Because I can't even figure out which platform it is. Now it looks like Doom. Where the fuck are you gonna get a beautiful green field with a fucking flower in Doom? It's probably not any kind of FPS shooter. I don't know. I have no idea what this white object is as well. I'm gonna have to skip for this one. I don't even have the slightest idea. Pretty hard. Is this like XCOM or something? What the fuck? What is this? Is this like a track? It's a racing game? SNES racing game? Like, this is definitely a racetrack right here. I'm assuming it's a racetrack with, like some grassy areas you can drive off of. Oh, golf, you're right. Because there's the wind arrow. Yeah, it's definitely a golf game. Good guess. Mario Golf or flying game? Oh, Pilot Wings. Yeah, that's a good guess right here. If you look at this silhouette, it seems like a guy. I like the Pilot Wings guess. Let's try Pilot Wings. I only played Pilot Wings 64, so... No. Adventure top-down. What the fuck? Who is this silhouette with a hat? Is this like a Jurassic Park game or something? 30. This looks like a raptor. It looks like a Jurassic Park game, doesn't it? Adventure. But what was the Jurassic Park game called? Operation Genesis Survival. We actually have to know what, like, Jurassic Park, the initial Jurassic Park was called. Maybe it was just Jurassic Park if it was super old and it came out at the same time that the movie came out. Let's just try Jurassic Park. Got it. Yeah, the dinosaur kind of gives it away. $1993. That was a good game. I didn't own an SNES. My mother wouldn't buy me one. Sag. Shoot the small dinosaur. Alright, one more. What the fuck is this thing? There's something pink on the... There's a pink cactus with a flower. Cactus with a pink flower on the outside. Desert stage. Collectible blue object. Is this Galaxy? It looks like Wii graphics, doesn't it? This blurry ass orange. This looks like a floating fucking collectible. Mario Galaxy. It might be 2 though. Can you guys remember the specific planet this was on? No, it's 2 probably. 97% it's 2. Yeah. Got it. All right. Easy. If it's a famous game, people can guess it immediately. Woohoo! Woo! Here we go! Woohoo! Haha! Waha! Woohoo! Woo! Woohoo! Woo! Mamma mia! It's a me, Mario. Bing bing wahooing. Alright, one more. That was easy. One more. We can do it. Sci-fi slop? Now this kind of feels more like a Halo. Weird that it's 2 and not 1 because the second game is leagues better than the first. I'm pretty sure we've already guessed the first. Red Faction, Halo 2, Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade has better graphics than this, guys. Come on. Red Faction. I feel like Red Faction is blurrier than this. I'm going to try Halo. I'm feeling like I want to guess Halo 2 right now. Turok 3. I've been playing Turok 2 right now. I fucking hate getting lost. And, nothing is more getting lost than Turok 2. So I don't know why I bought it. It was because it was $5 and I wanted to replay it. Because I remember, like, getting lost in it as a child. And I wanted to see if I was better at navigating the stages now that I was an adult. And I'm not. It still fucking sucks. Let's try Halo 2. This kind of looks like a plane crash. Oh god, it was Halo. My Halo sensor. 84%. Is this Halo 4? Fucking franchise Halo. It looks like 4 based on the graphics. It's 4 or 5, I think. It's definitely not 1. Could it be Infinity? Master Chief Collection is a good guess, but I wonder if it's in there. No, it's not. Halo : Master Chief Collection? Yeah, let's try 4. 84 score must be 4 or 5? Yeah. I think you're right about that. Yeah, it's 4. Our favorite Halo game, guys. Aw, man. Remember all the good memories we had playing Halo 4? Yeah, just me and the bros playing Halo 4 all night. Nothing like a good Halo 4 match with the buddies. I love 343 Industries. Am I right, fellow Halo fans? Hey, Uncle, what's a Halo? Don't tell me you've forgotten your favorite character, John Halo. His name is literally John. LMAO. Good times. Just get run over by the ghost. Alright, guys. See you around, guys. Good night. I will keep on drawing. I will probably have to cut some streaming going forward because I'm going to have to devote full days to just like cleaning up my room and like, getting rid of shit and stuff. So that will go is gonna fuck with my drawing and like streaming schedule because I have to be prepared to exit the goddamn country, which sucks. But see you around, guys. Good night.